So, Alien Earth has finally landed on Disney Plus. So I've watched the first 2 episodes we've been given. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a chat today. What did I think of this opening couple of episodes for this new series? So yeah, we're going to get into that today on the video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And if you're new here, my name's Matt. And this channel is all about movies and TV series. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and let's get into it. Okay, so today is the 13th of August 2025, and in the UK, Alien Earth has just dropped. I just subscribed to Disney Plus for a 3-month period, mainly for this show, but I'll be able to catch a few other bits and pieces on the platform as well. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about Alien Earth. So the first 2 episodes have dropped. The first one being Neverland, and this goes for 1 hour and 5 minutes. And the second episode is Mr. October, and that runs for 57 minutes. So let's just have a brief sort of talk about Neverland. I'm going to try and keep this spoiler free, but yeah, there's been quite a lot of marketing for this series. So if you've seen a lot of the trailers, you will have seen, well, there's certainly some sort of scenes you'll see in this first episode that you've seen in the trailers. So it starts on the Imagineer, very much that aesthetic of the first Alien film, which I think really drew in sort of fans. Sort of the old school sort of 1970s vibe about it on the spaceship. And we're introduced to sort of the crew of the Imagineer, not in great detail. They don't really sort of go into much about the characters. I mean, the main guy in it, he's sort of the guy you've seen at the computer in the mother screen, and he is a synth, and yeah, he's kind of sort of at the centre of this episode, I guess. We kind of sort of see that obviously they've got these life forms aboard the Imagineer, including the xenomorph, and we've also seen a couple of other creatures, one being the Oculus creature, which is the one that attaches through the eyes of its victims and takes over the brain. And there's also like a plant species, which we get to see a little bit of in the second episode. So we sort of find out that, yeah, the crew has been woken up about 4 months to get back to Earth. They've been on a mission, which is pretty much to sort of retrieve these species, the different species, for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. I think at this point they're probably sort of still 2 separate corporations, but they're working in tandem. And it has been sort of told that there are sort of 5 corporations, and the main corporation that we're dealing with certainly in this first episode is Prodigy, and this is sort of owned and controlled by this main guy who's like a trillionaire, quite a young guy. And we then sort of go to the events of Earth, and we see the sort of experiment to transfer the human consciousness of a young girl who is sort of well, her human body is sort of dying. I'm not quite sure what disease it is, but they're going to transfer her consciousness into a synth, and this procedure takes place, and you also get to see some other sort of children sort of transfer into these synth bodies as well. So they're kind of creating a group of synths. So this sort of first episode very much sort of focuses, I guess, on that sort of storyline, but we are introduced to the characters. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much more because obviously if you haven't seen this, I don't want to sort of spoil it for people. But I will say there is some xenomorph action. So if you're kind of going into this thinking, oh, it's not really going to be much about the alien, well, you do get to see something in this first episode, which was kind of good. My personal opinion in this first episode is that I think, whilst I know they're trying to set up characters, there is sort of this emphasis very much on the synth side of things, which we've sort of had in the previous films, certainly in Prometheus and Covenant with David. And I think people really want the sort of the monsters, the sort of certainly the xenomorphs. So whilst this first episode, I guess you've got to give it the benefit of the doubt that they're trying to create characters, they're trying to set up the world. I guess you can't just sort of throw you into action and it's just all the monsters. But we do get a little bit of that. So for me, I preferred the kind of action side of things, not so much the synth stuff, but I guess you've got to sort of allow for character development. It's the first episode of a TV series. Often you find sort of it takes a little while with a TV series for it to get going. I mean, if this is going to run for multiple series, you often find that the first series is quite sort of slow, but it held my attention. I quite enjoyed it. It was nice to see the xenomorph in it, but it didn't. Yeah, I didn't come away thinking, oh, I was absolutely blown away by this. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was good, a good start. But yeah, not too bad. The one thing I didn't quite like about it was the fact that the music choice at the end of each episode, I didn't know whether it was going to carry on, and it does carry on to episode 2. They pretty much go with a sort of hard rock music tone, which personally for me, I don't think it really fits. It fits the series. You do hear glimmers of the original Alien score, and I would have preferred them to have kept to that sort of music, if you ask me, sort of futuristic science fiction sort of music, which I think would far better fit this kind of series. The sort of this rock sort of vibe at the end of, I don't know, it kind of takes me out of it a little bit, but I don't know what the idea behind that is, whether the writer quite likes that kind of music, but it just feels a little bit out of place, in my opinion. I mean, in this story, again, the Maginot has crash landed on Earth, and it's kind of like a team of people going in to sort of find out what's happened, and they start to explore the ship. This is towards the end of the episode, which nicely then leads into the second episode. So the second episode is called Mr. October, and like I say, that runs for 57 minutes. There's a bit of tension sort of mounts with the corporations, especially between Prodigy and Yutani. You get to see Miss Yutani on a sort of video call she has with the Prodigy guy, the owner of Prodigy. I forget what his name is, but he's quite sort of opinionated. He wants to sort of, he's saying that it's not all about money, all of this. He wants to find somebody who's more intelligent than him to have a sort of decent conversation on. But yeah, he seems quite sort of a bit sort of opinionated, shall we say, in my opinion. But obviously the discussion he has with Yutani, Miss Yutani, it's obviously her ship, and she wants what's on the ship, but so does he. Anyway, we then get to sort of the events, and I'd say there's a lot more of this sort of episode is based in the ship and certainly in the city where, well, the part of the city that the ship has crashed in. So it's crashed into sort of some buildings, and I would say that this episode is far more action based than the first episode. Yeah, it was a nice sort of change of pace to the first one. You got a glimmer of a bit of action in the first episode, but yeah, it ramps up in this one, and I came away feeling far more sort of more of an enjoyable episode. Again, you get to see a bit more character development. The character played by Timothy Oliphant, he's like the head sort of synth who's controlling the other synths. I think he's quite good. He's quite commanding. I don't know whether we're going to see maybe a different side to his character. I'm not sure as to yet, but yeah, he's wanting sort of an investigation to take place. He takes his team in to the spaceship, and yeah, we certainly get to see maybe another couple of species that you may have seen in the trailers. Again, we're still not sort of told a huge amount about these species and what they can do. I'm guessing they're leaving that for future episodes. But once again, we do get to see the xenomorph action in this second episode. So if you're thinking, oh, are they just going to sort of do away with the xenomorph in the first episode as kind of like a title, oh, it's Alien, but we're going to ditch it and we're going to focus on these other characters or these other monsters, and obviously the characters in the series, then no, they are still showing the xenomorph, which is, you know, I think what a lot of us fans still love to see. And yeah, I think towards the end of the episode, I think that will continue. I think you're given sort of suggestions that this won't be the end of the xenomorph. So, you know, it's I think it's about all of these different species. Maybe future episodes might focus on certain sort of these species that they collected. Like I say, we've only seen 3 of them so far, including the xenomorph. But I think there are another 2. Actually, no, we have seen another one, which is like an insect. Well, we've not been actually told that, but yeah, so we possibly could have seen 4 of the species, although I still think they're going to sort of maybe show something a bit sort of later on in the series. So would I recommend you watching Alien Earth? Yeah, I certainly sort of enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I would certainly say stick with it. The first episode, whilst it does have some action set pieces, and the opening to the series is really good. It kind of gives you that alien feel. I just felt the stuff on Earth, all to do with the synths and that kind of, I don't know, I just felt, I wanted to get back to the alien stuff. But you know, I appreciate they've got to build characters within this series. But yeah, stick with it, because episode 2, I feel it starts to explore those characters a bit more and gets them into the sort of the setting where the action is going to take place. So yeah, I think a pretty sort of solid start to this. Yeah, very enjoyable, and look forward to episode 3. So next week, come back and I'll have a brief chat to you about episode 3 after I've watched it. I've tried to do this every week. There may be episode 4 might come a week later, possibly, because I will be on my holidays that week. So I don't know whether I'll be able to get to see it. So it might come a bit later, sort of towards the next week. But I'll try and get it out before episode 5. So yeah, stick with me on this little sort of series of Alien Earth, the TV series. Like I say, I'll try to sort of review it each week, just give you my thoughts try not to give you any spoilers. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Have you watched this? What do you think of this series so far? And if you're new here and you like sort of Alien, the franchise, why not check out some of my other videos on my playlist, Alien playlist. I will try and leave a link up here to some other videos. Recently did a discussion video with AJ from AJ's Movie Place all about this series before we started to watch it, and there's some other videos, and I say I'll stick the playlist up here. Please give the video a thumbs up as well, that really does help me out. It tells YouTube that you like these sorts of videos. So yeah, watch out for episode 3 review. See you next time.